Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Friday video report. 2-0 sweep with the free picks last night. Arizona and Gonzaga coming through. Two more freebies tonight in the Ivy League. Harvard at Cornell and Penn at Brown, both games going at 7 Eastern time. Before I get to those free picks, however, I want to talk about the NBA because the first half of the season ended last night. We've got the All-Star break. A lot of guys just now, are starting to look at proposition plays, future bets for the NBA. And most gamblers immediately look at who is going to win the NBA championship series. I think the wiser investment strategy, the smart money move, is instead, and the easier bet is instead, to bet on who is going to win the respective conferences, the East and the West. You make a smaller play then on the NBA championship series. With that in mind, I'm going to get to those picks in just a moment. Let's break down quickly the various contenders here for the postseason. First of all, of course, you've got the defending champion Lakers. Problem, as we all know, it's not the fact that they lost to Cleveland to end a 7-game road trip a couple of nights ago. It's the fact that this is an aging team with no offensive power off the bench other than Lamar Odom. Listen, if Kobe and Gasol don't get their 45 points every night, and then if Odom off the bench combined with Bynum and Derek Fisher don't combine for 35 points, they're in trouble. And if they do get 35 and 45 in those combinations, that's only 80 points. Who else is going to score? Shannon Brown, Steve Blake off the bench, Luke Walton, are you kidding me? Matt Barnes is out. That definitely hurts this team right now. They definitely could use another score to give them a little more offensive punch because Ron Artest ain't the answer, as we all know. But who are they going to get one right now? They're kind of stymied because of the salary cap and because they don't really have any tradable guys that people are really interested in other than Lamar Odom. Elsewhere out there, the Spurs have the best record, blah, 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 blah. But listen, Duncan has aged, as you know. Ginobili and Parker are going to wear down. They're getting tremendous contributions from a no-name bench that is easy to deliver right now, but it's a difference between delivering November, December, January, February, as opposed to delivering in April and May. I think the Spurs are prime victims to be ousted from the postseason in the first or second round, depending on the matchup they get. Oklahoma City. You saw last year against the Lakers, a young athletic team that likes to run the floor. Depending on who they're matched up against, they certainly can give people trouble, but they've got too many holes. Not a consistently good outside shooting team. Don't have a dominant man in the middle. That leaves us with the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks, listen, they've got Dirk, which is always a benefit and a bonus. They've got such tremendous depth they're developing right now. But they've got a real problem at point guard because you put Jason Kidd up against a younger guard, and, the Mavericks are going to struggle. That's the bottom line with this team. It would have not helped them if Cron Butler didn't suffer the season-ending knee injury. But again, Mavericks are certainly a contender. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Lakers and the Mavericks meet for the Western Conference title. Now, in the East, big surprise, the Miami Heat, the overwhelming favorite there. But listen, again, just like the Lakers, after LeBron and D-Wade and Bosh get their 80 points a game, maybe 85, who else is going to score for Miami? Mike Miller? This guy is injured like most people get hangnails. It's every other day. Eddie House off the bench? I just don't see it happening, guys. That goes to the Boston Celtics and Big three, yes, but Rajon Rondo is really the key. He always escalates his game and his style of play come the postseason, and he makes them really so much more dangerous. I don't care whether either Shaquille O'Neal or Jermaine O'Neal is available in the middle because they are not the keys for the Celtics. The Orlando Magic, forget about it. They've got Dwight Howard, and who else do they have along the front line? Ryan Anderson and Brandon Bass? Yeah, that really strikes the fear of God in the opposing teams, doesn't it? Jason Richardson, he's finding out life in Orlando ain't so sweet without Steve Nash being able to feed him the ball in transition for those easy stop and pop jumpers. Jameer Nelson can't get the job done. So I don't really factor Orlando here. I think the dark horse, the Chicago Bulls. Look at how well they're playing right now with Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, and Carlos Boozer. Just imagine when they get Noah back in the lineup here in a couple of weeks. Give them 10, 15 games for Boozer and Noah to figure out who's going to do the dirty work down low, who's going to draw one of the top offensive players for their opponent out to the outside so it frees up the paint a little bit. And I think they could definitely cause some trouble. But let's look now at the odds here. Okay, odds to win the Eastern Conference. The Celtics right now are plus $1.10. Yes, plus $1.10 the Celtics, right? Chicago is, considerably more, plus 600. The Magic, surprisingly, plus 600, just like the Bulls. The Bulls are the far better value there, guys. And the Miami Heat, minus $1.40. I take the Celtics right now plus $1.10 and bank it, guys. They're going to win the East as far as I'm concerned. Out in the West, you've got the Lakers minus $1.25. You've got the Spurs plus $1.25. You've got Oklahoma City plus 800. And you've got Dallas plus 600. The way I would play that would be, I would go ahead and take LA Lakers and a smaller wager on the Dallas Mavericks, because again, I think they're going to meet, depending on the pairings, of course. I think they have a great chance at meeting for the Western Conference title. So bigger play on the Lakers, smaller play on Dallas. In the East, I'd go ahead and bet on the Celtics. Then you look at the NBA Championship Series odds. What do you got here? You've got Boston at plus 300. You've got the Bulls at plus 1,500. The Heat plus $1.60. Mavericks plus 1,500. The Lakers, oh, by the way, they're just plus 300. The Spurs are plus 500. Again, you know, it's one of those things where I generally probably wouldn't bet on it, but if you're going to make a smaller wager, I kind of like Boston at this point in time, as long as everybody stays healthy. You're getting Boston at plus 300. You can have the Lakers at plus 300. Can you really go wrong either way? But again, I told you the Eastern and Western Conference bets, those are the easy ones to win. So that's my advice for the NBA. Now, your free picks tonight. I'm going to go with Harvard minus the 4 at Cornell. Harvard on an 11-1 run. Their lone loss coming by 4 points at Princeton. 7-1, one game behind 7-0 Princeton in the Ancient Eights. They just beat Brown at home last Saturday, 85-78, a game in which they were trailing by 22 points in one stage. They open a 4-game road trip tonight against Cornell. They beat Big Red at home January 29th, 78-57, laying 11 points, hitting 10 of 23 pointers in that contest. Cornell's coming off a 2-point loss to Princeton at home on Saturday. I'll go and lay the points with Harvard. I'm also going to lay the 2 points with Penn tonight against Brown on the road. They beat Brown at home, rallying from 10 points down in the second half to nip them 80-78 in overtime. Didn't come close to covering as a 9.5-point chalk. Jack Eggleston in that game tying a career high with 25 points, also 12 rebounds in that contest. You know, Penn lost 3 straight overtime games, and then last Saturday night they got blown out by 13 points at Columbia. But that's to be expected after losing the 3 straight overtime games. I think Jerome Allen, after the week off, has his team ready to go tonight. I'll lay the 2 with Penn over a bad Brown team. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck, and I'll catch you again on Saturday morning.